You can start from separation of substance. You can continue from here. Okay, so you have purchased the book that is prescribed by your school now, or from your own discretion you have purchased that.
Yeah.
I mean to say that it was told in the school that you have to purchase that book. As per that, you have purchased it, no? Okay.
Can you repeat, sir?
This book was being prescribed by your teacher in the school now. Your teacher told you to purchase that book, right?
No, sir. I'm saying for the test book.
For the test book.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let us continue with the chapter sorting materials into groups. So do tell
Good
us,
evening,
tell
sir.
me. Yeah, good evening. Arush, you are also in class 6 standard, right?
No, sir. I'm not. Can you please rename me?
Oh, sorry. You joined that batch. So I thought like, okay, actually I had one trial class with the same name. A student also had the same name, Hana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Also, both of you turn your cameras on in the class. So
Yeah.
in the previous class, we were doing this chapter, sorting materials into groups. So far, we learned about several things in the class, right? So we learned that we have got different materials around us, right? We see the different materials are there around us, right? So those materials needs to be sorted in order to have convenience in adding them in studying them. That needs to be um, separated from each other. Getting it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Or in order to have convenience in storing them. Like for example, if you were to have different objects and different objects have got different properties. So if all of them are mixed together, it would be different. It would be difficult to study them properly. For example, at your study table, if you were to have different things like notebooks are there, scissors, compass, pens are there, pencils are there, highlighter, ballpoints, or calculator, stapler, for example, pencil sharpener, or like your backpack, all of them would be were to be scattered at one place. So it would be really difficult for you to find any one particular thing when you need it,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So when you look around ourselves, we found that we have a number of objects surrounding us. Some of them have properties different from others, right? So then it has to be separated. Also, two things can be separated only if they share different properties.
Yes.
For example, you have rice and you have wheat. So if I were to mix both of them by hand picking, you can separate them. If I were to give some of them only by hand picking, you will be able to separate them. So the reason why you are able to separate them because both of them share different property, right? Okay. So if two objects shares different property, then then only it is possible to separate them. If they share the same property, it would be difficult. Like for example, if I were to give you two glasses of water right now and I ask you to separate them, will it be possible for us to
No, sir.
separate the water in glass A and B once they
No,
have
sir.
been mixed together? Of course, no, right? It would not be possible.
Yes, sir.
The reason being that both of them share the same property. But what if in glass A, I were to have
Sir, just give
oil?
me like 1 minute. I'll just be right back.
Okay, okay. Meanwhile, Halima, you can answer this question. What if I were to give you a glass of oil and a glass of water? So then,
Sir, we can separate it easily as
hmm,
oil is a little bit denser. Oil is not that denser than the water. So we
hmm,
can separate it by separating.
very good, right now. So thereby we can separate them easily because the reason being that both of them have different properties. Oil has different property, water has different property. So
Sir,
thereby what
water
we
can flow, oil can float in on the water.
exactly very good. So oil will basically float above the water, right
Yeah.
now. Okay. I think I opened the wrong PPT here. Okay, now we had different property previously.
Sir, I think that was the same. No, no, that
This one was there. Okay, no. Also, Ira hasn't been attending the class.
Sir,
Ira,
can I write this again?
okay, you didn't write this. Okay,
No.
you can write this again.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Hannah, you back in the class?
Yes, sir.
So first of all, you'd be learning about mixture. Okay, no.
Yes.
Halima, let us know when you are when you have completed writing it down. By the way, Hannah, you wrote down this
Okay.
topics of
Yes.
the chapter previously.
Yeah.
Good. So what is mixture? The question is the first question which we have, and the first topic which we are going to discuss is what is mixture. So
Yes, sir.
mixture is basically anything that is made up of two or more than two different substances. It should be mixed together but would not be combined chemically. Say for example, if I were to have two different things in my object. For example, if I were to
Like
have
in your pouch, you have pencils, erasers, and sharpeners. All of them are mixed, but they're not chemically
chemically reacted together, chemically combined.
Yeah.
Getting it? So, or for example, if I were to have pebbles of different colors, you understand what are pebbles, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I have colorful pebbles and I mix all of them together, so it is a mixture, right? Okay. Or
Yeah.
for example, let us say if I were to have erasers of different color, I have colorful erasers. If I were to mix all of them together, that would be a mixture, right? So it has not reacted chemically. No, they haven't combined chemically.
Yes, sir.
Getting this? Or for example, you have a mixture of rice and sand, rice or wheat. So all of them are different examples of mixture, which should be made up of two or more than two substances.
Sir,
But
as you have told the example of water and oil.
that is also a mixture.
Yeah. But that
We
is
have
a
different
liquid.
examples of mixture. Yeah, there you have a liquid mixture. Very good. Right now, there you have a liquid mixture. Getting this? Okay. Or for example, you have a say for example a pizza. Pizza is also a mixture, no? How? A
Yeah, it's
pizza
mixed
contains
with
different.
different toppings, different sauces, everything.
Exactly, right?
But
For
it does
example,
not chemically get mixed.
yeah, exactly, right. No, some of things in it while cooking they do get mixed chemically, but it's a mixture generally,
Yeah.
right? Or for example, air is also a mixture
Yeah.
because air is a
It's
mixture of
mixed with
Yes.
oxygen,
mm,
carbon dioxide, nitrogen.
that you have gases like sulfur dioxide, neon, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. All these are present in the air. A
Carbohydrate.
carbohydrate, it's not a gas. That's a different thing. It's a component of the food. No, that's a different thing. Then you have dust particles also in the air.
Yes.
So air is also a mixture, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But are all of them chemically combined? No.
No.
The
No.
gases are separately found in the air,
Yep.
right? So that is one such example. Or for example, when you dissolve sugar in the water, so that is also a mixture. Dissolving of sugar in water, that is also a mixture. Getting this? Okay.
But
Or for Mhm.
if
Repeat
sugar
again.
is already dissolved in water, how can we separate?
How can we separate it? Yeah.
Sir, can we separate it by the process of evaporation?
Exactly. By simply boiling, you can separate it. Same is the case with the mixture of salt and water
Salt
also.
also.
You can separate that too also. Okay, no?
Yes.
Sir,
So
I'm
we
done.
have done. Good. Also, in the previous class, we learned about concepts like pure substances. So we learned about what are pure substances. So pure substances are those substances that are made up of only one kind of particles, only one kind of atoms. Like copper wire is just made up of copper atoms. Iron wire is just made up of iron atoms, right now? Okay. So we are saying that they are composed of only one type of atoms. Also, we say that they are
Even
composed of
oxygen is
one
the
types
pure
of molecules.
substance.
Exactly. It's oxygen is also an example of a pure substance because
Even water,
oxygen
because water is made up of like
same kind of molecules, right now. So a pure substance would either have same type of molecules of atoms or molecules of compounds. So here we are using two terms, like
sir, I just
same.
wanted to ask something.
Mhm.
There's like this test. There's this test for science.
Okay. Yeah, you guys will be required to attend the test for science. You'd be given the option to pick the dates. So I think you'd be given a like 2 or 3 dates. You'd be having options of 2 or 3 different dates.
So
So
the
on
test will consist like of everything we have learned so far.
yeah, so far whatever the things we have learned right now. By the way, the test would be from the first chapter actually, components of food.
Uh,
Okay, now although like Hana, I think like in 1 or 2 classes only you were present in that chapter.
yes.
Were you present? Okay.
Yeah, I think for one class, which was my trial class, first trial class.
Oh, okay, okay. So for that chapter, you would be having the test. Okay, now.
Yeah.
So everything included in in that chapter from that question would be asked. Okay. All right. So what we were learning so far that there are two types of pure substances. You have element, you have compound. So elements consist of two o- of two or more than two same kind of atoms. For example, hydrogen atoms, oxygen atoms, iron atoms. So they are making up an element. Like this copper is also an element because it is made up of same type of atoms, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have compound. So compounds are basically when different atoms are linked together. Linked here means joined together.
Join.
Say, say for example, water is a compound. Why do we call it a compound? Because it is made up of atoms. It is made up of two different types of atoms. So water is made up of atoms of hydrogen. It is made up of hydrogen atoms
And oxygen.
and oxygen. Very good.
And
Plus,
oxygen.
very good.
Oxygen.
Plus oxygen atoms. So it
So
is a
it is
compound.
combined. It is combined and it is
So
written as
hydrogen and oxygen they form, and then like water is formed by hydrogen and oxygen atoms.
Exactly. Halima, what were you saying?
sir the same thing what Hannah told.
Good. Right now. So oxygen and hydrogen would bound together to make water. Right now. So it would bound together to make water and it will be H2O. H2O means that there are two atoms of hydrogen. How many? Two. And only one
H
oxygen
is
atom.
hydrogen and O is oxygen.
And O is oxygen. Very good. So it would
Sir, what
exist.
is two?
Two here represents a number of atoms. Like you would be having two hydrogen atoms, like one hydrogen atom, another hydrogen atom. Both of them will join together with one oxygen atom. Got this now? It would be like
Yes.
this. Okay now?
So water is represented as H2O.
H2O. Exactly.
Okay.
That is the chemical formula of water. So when you have a beaker of water or a glass of water, right? So in
Yeah.
this, say it is filled with water. It is filled with water. So in this, whichever part you look at, like whichever drop of water you look at, it would have the same molecule.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
it now? This
Yes.
is the molecule of water. So if you were to pick out some water from here or from here or from here like this, so no matter from where you pick a sample, every one of them would be having the same composition, that is this H2O.
Yeah.
So thereby it's a pure substance. It's not like iron is mixed into it or carbon is mixed into it. No, it is just made up of molecule of water only.
Yeah.
That's why it's a pure substance.
Sir,
Yes.
water is being mixed with hydrogen atom and oxygen atom.
No. Hydrogen atom and oxygen atom mixes to form water. The other way, like this we say. Hydrogen atom mixes with oxygen to form water. Getting it? No? Like you have, say for example, if you were to have hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms, with some chemical process, you can mix them together. You can't mix them manually. That is not that simple. But if you were to have hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms, you mix them together, then water will be formed. It is like that. Got this now? So this
So
is an
it's still a
example.
pure
So
substance,
the
not a
hydrogen and oxygen atoms, which you're saying, they're like they're in liquid form.
No, that is really not important. See, uh, um, um, the process of formation of water, that is really not important. But what basically you need to understand, like the basic thing is that hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms joins together to form water, right now. Or
Yeah.
in higher classes, you will learn about the chemical reaction where hydrogen gas would be reacting with the oxygen gas to form the liquid water. Getting it now? If you talk about how the process of formation of water takes place, so that's a different thing. Like there
Yes.
you'd have to study about the reaction here. Getting it now?
So sir, the water is still pure substance, right? Not a mixed
The
substance.
the water is
Still pure substance, not mixed substance, right?
exactly. It's a pure substance because all these are the molecules of water. Like this one is also H2O, this one is also H2O, this one is also H2O. No
All
matter
of the
where you
molecules are
pick,
H2O. They're all mixed
ex
with hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms.
exactly. Very good, right now. So thereby it's a
Yeah.
pure substance. Just like we did talked about an iron rod. So for example, this is an iron rod.
Yeah.
So thereby it would also be made up, it would be made up of same type of molecules of iron only,
Yeah.
Yes.
like
So
this,
it's
for
like a
example.
pure substance.
So it's a pure substance because it is made up of molecules of same type. Got this now?
So sir, iron rod is also pure substance and water.
Yeah, exactly. Iron rod is also a pure substance because iron rod is made up of molecules of iron.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are able to understand that,
Yes,
right
sir.
now. So that is this, that is the thing. All of them are the iron atoms, or more specifically, molecules here as well. So they are made up of same type of substances. Okay.
Yes.
But then if you were to have a glass of dirty water, you were to have a glass of dirty water, so this would contain so many things in it,
Yeah. Mud and stuff.
mud, stuffs like that, right? There would
So
be
you
so
need to
many,
filter the water so it will become clean again.
exactly. So there would be lots of impurities in it. The reason why
And
we are
once
not
you
calling,
filter it, it'll once again become H2O.
yeah, water will, the pure water will settle at the top. That's the thing. So here this is considered as an impure substance because it has got lots of different things in it. Sand
Yeah.
particles are there, mud particles are there. Say for example, some oil particles are also there. For example, let's say. Huh?
Sir,
So
if
there's a
there
lots.
is a mixture of iron nails and
Hmm.
iron nails and coin, so
Hmm.
we can use magnetic separation
Yeah, we can use magnetic separation there also. If
or
you have
hand.
some hand picking, better than hand picking, it would be magnetic separation. Okay, no?
Yeah.
So hope you guys have now understood what is a pure substance and what a impure substance is. A pure
Sir, can
substance
we
would
write
be,
this?
yes.
Sir, can
No,
we write the pure substance?
no, I will tell you what to write. Just 1 minute. So a pure substance would be either made up of same type of molecules, right now, or same types of atoms as we have seen here. Getting it now?
Yes.
Molecules, this is the molecule of compound, this is the molecule of element. Keep that in mind. So this is molecule of element here. And
Yeah.
these are the molecules of compound. Okay, now molecules of compound, and element and compound are different from each other because elements are made up of same type of atoms. Elements are made up of same type of atoms, while compounds are made up of two or more than two different types of atoms. That is also one thing. Okay,
Sir, like carbon dioxide, sodium.
carbon dioxide, not sodium. Sodium is the example of element. Okay, no?
Oh, sodium
Compound you have
chloride.
sodium chloride. Very good. Sodium
And
chloride
what?
is there. Water is there. Huh? Yeah. Then you have sodium hydroxide is there. Sulfuric
Yes, sir,
acid
I
is
wrote
there.
this last class.
Wrote this? Good.
Yeah.
Halima, did you wrote this in the previous
No,
class?
sir.
Okay, okay. So write down what I'm highlighting here. Okay, now. So write the definition of pure substances are those substances that are made up of only one kind of particles. Or more precisely, they are composed of only one type of atoms or molecules. Okay, then you would be writing down this. There are two types of pure substances. One element, they consist of one or more same atom. Do not write off linking, just write this. They consist one or more same atoms.
Okay.
Give one example of hydrogen atom. Okay. Then about the compound, you're going to write when different atoms or molecules are linked together, then they form a compound. Then example you can give as carbon dioxide or water. Okay. So hope that is clear. Then after this, we'd be learning about some other concepts. We would be learning about separation. The separation would be basically a process by which unwanted or harmful component of a mixture would be removed in order to get a pure substance, right? So the reason why separations would be done, either you want to remove the unwanted or undesirable components from a mixture,
Or maybe
or
you want like both of them, but then you want like it to be separate so you can use it like for different purposes.
exactly, right? So it contains useful components. So we want to extract the useful components from the mixture. Or if there are some harmful components, so we want to get rid of the harmful components. Getting it now? Okay. Or there can be, as you said, there can be a mixture of two useful components, but together it can't be used. It has to be separated, then they can be used separately, right? Like seeds have to be removed from the shaft. Seeds have to be removed from the shaft. Getting it? So thereby both of them have got some uses. Like seed is also important and shaft is also important. CHAFF. Got this? Like shaft can be used as a feed for the animals, as a feeder for the animals, particularly for the cattles. So that is one thing. For example, tea leaves and the tea. Tea leaves and the tea, both of them are important, right? So tea is important. Tea leaves, how tea leaves are important?
You need tea leaves to make tea.
Yeah, but once the tea has already been made, so then why
Then
do
the
we
tea
need
leaves
that?
will be of no use.
Yeah, or but we can use it to prepare manures, to prepare organic manure. Getting it, guys? So there it can be used. So hope you guys are getting it what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Halima, do let me know once you are done writing it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You also would have seen this thing like before you'd be cooking the rice, it has to be cleaned with water before we use it, right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
To remove all
getting
the
it,
germs.
to remove, get rid of the extra dirt in it.
Yeah.
There's dirt in the rice, no? Okay, like that. Okay, meanwhile, give some examples of pure substances, Hannah.
Copper, copper
Hmm.
stick, oxygen, water,
Hmm.
um,
Is
iron,
iron good?
hydrogen.
Is salt a example of pure substance?
Yeah,
It is right now.
yeah.
Okay. Is milk a pure or impure substance?
Milk
Hmm.
is a
Think of it.
milk.
Does it contain one type of particle in it?
Milk.
Hmm. Milk
Mm,
contains different types of particles in it, no?
yeah, it consists like it contains of like
Hmm.
many things inside.
Like like what? What does it contain?
Like mm, it contains different vitamins, minerals.
Okay. It contains fat cells also.
Yeah,
Fat particles are also present in it, right now. You would have seen the yellow particles floating in the milk. What is that? That is basically the fat particle. So fat particle is found in it. Furthermore, several other things like vitamins would be found in it. Some type of vitamins would be found in it. Getting it now. Then some other things would be found in it, like casein minerals are some of the particles. Not relevant, but just know that um, important components are found. Getting it now.
yeah.
So different components are found in the milk. So thereby it's a mixture, and it's a mixture, but it's not. But it's a impure mixture. I mean to say, it's a mixture, and thereby it's an impure substance.
That's
Okay,
because it's like mixed of like many things. That's why it's an impure substance. Pure
exactly,
substance only consists of one kind of particle, but milk
only
consists of many particles.
exactly only one kind of particles would be found there. Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, then what are some other examples of impure substances apart from milk and pond water?
Impure substances, I think, no.
Mhm.
We have like even the other juices that we get,
Hmm.
like the juices that we get, and then
Or seawater is an example
yeah,
of pure or impure substance. Seawater.
seawater. It may be dirty. Like sometimes
Mm,
seawater is also dirty, so I think I'm gonna go with impure.
mm. Generally, the main reason is that the seawater is saline now. Seawater is
Yeah,
saline. Basically, salt is mixed into the water right
yeah.
now. So that is why it's a impure substance, because seawater has got
And
water
also
and
some
salt.
nowadays, like most of the seas and oceans are getting polluted. So
Exactly right now. Now, nowadays we see that seawater is hugely polluted. Getting it?
yeah. Because
Okay.
people throw all their waste and all their the waste, the things they don't need into the seas and oceans, so they get polluted. Even from the factory, the smoke and all
Mhm.
that goes, it affects the seas and oceans.
Exactly. There are numerous causes for the pollution of the seawater. Like, for
Yeah,
example, lots of one of the causes oil spills. Uh, oil spills, like for example, many times if a boat becomes non-functional, if there are a boat in the middle of the ocean, it becomes non-functional, and there can be risk of oil spillage. Oil can spill from that boat. Hmm. So that can lead to pollution, right?
yeah.
Due to our some other human activities, like when we use excess amount of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers on the farms. So via rain, that water will eventually go into the rivers, and the rivers goes into the water into the meets the oceans, right now. So use of excess fertilizer, that can also be one of the cause of pollution,
And
right?
people, whenever they eat, they leave their wrappers in the sea when they don't find any place to throw it. They throw it into the
Hmm.
sea, and that's how it pollutes. Even the fish and the animals living in the seas or oceans, they will also die because it will be hard for them to survive under the polluted water.
Exactly. Right now, so we have seen that lots of plastic garbage has accumulated in the seawater.
Yeah.
In the recent years, lots of, right? Like every year, million tons of plastics ends up in the oceans, ends up in the ocean right now,
Yeah.
because we basically discard the plastic litter into the water body without even caring for the aquatic habitat.
Yeah.
Also, plastic, since it decomposes very slowly now, so thereby decomposition of plastic is so slow, so thereby
Sir,
also yes,
some fishes also,
yes.
sir, some fishes also think like, for example, a fish is catching another fish. So
Hmm.
they think that that plastic is a fish. So they by mistakenly eat that fish, I mean
Mhm.
that plastic, and then they die.
They will be getting damaged in that case.
Yeah.
Furthermore, see, plastics sometimes, like some plastics, it will break into very tiny pieces,
Yeah.
very tiny pieces called as microplastics. Have heard of this term before, anyone?
Yeah.
Microplastics. So
Yes,
it would be very small in size, so fishes would be eating that microplastic. Okay,
And that will
so
affect the fish's health, and fishes will die.
exactly. So that microplastic that would be eaten by the fishes, now it has entered into the food chain of the marine. It has entered into the aquatic food chain. There's food chain on the land, and there's food chain under the water also. Getting out
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say?
yes, sir.
So as it enters into the food chain, so thereby what is going to happen? One fish has eaten the microplastic, for example. This fish would be eaten by a bigger fish. Huh? A bigger fish
Yeah,
will eat this, or let's say eventually if we humans were to consume the meat of that fish, so this plastic via the marine food chain, it is going inside our body also.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Getting it, huh? So in that way it is very harmful. Halima, were you done writing it
Yes,
down or
sir.
not? Done. Good.
Yeah. Sir, so it is basically like if we throw something in the water, like
Hmm.
also nail polish is a micro uh, plastic.
Yeah, it also contains so much of microplastic in it. Okay.
Yes, sir. If we throw something in the water, like some plastic or something, then that will be eaten by another fish, and then that the fish will be eaten by. So we will also get affected by.
Exactly. And that actually happens, and that has been found. Like uh the thing is no that um recent studies have shown that microplastics are found in the body of humans. Recent studies have shown this. Got this now? Like researchers in certain countries found that, particularly in Netherlands, it was found. In a country called as in Netherlands, particularly, it was discovered that microplastics have been found in the blood of the human. It was found for the first time in the year 2022. The presence of microplastics in the human blood was detected for the first time in the year 2022. Hmm?
So, but how does that affect the humans?
How does that affect the human? It will affect our heart. It will affect the heart. The people's who in the people in whose blood microplastics were found, they had to get a cardiac surgery done. They had to get a heart surgery done in order to be cured. Getting it now?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
What,
So
sir?
that
Can you repeat?
I
That's
said
due to
that
the pollution and all that happens.
exactly. So what I said that scientists for the first time in the year 2022 found out microplastics in the human blood. Okay,
Yeah.
no. So thereby, not in every country, like in some countries, people are exposed to, like particularly those countries that would be heavily dependent upon fish as the main source of food. particularly people living on the islands. So their staple diet is fish. They would be consuming lots of fish. So it was found that in such people, microplastics are found in their blood right now. So if microplastic is found in the blood, so it will be one of the cause of heart attacks, cardiac arrest. Getting it? So then people have to get the heart surgery done in order to get cure from it. Okay, na? Also, the people who had cardiac surgery, when the cardiac surgery was being done, it was found at that time that microplastics was one of the cause for this heart attack. You're getting it now what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we are going to learn about mixture. Write down the definition of mixture. Halima, read the definition of mixture.
I want to write it down just a moment.
Okay, okay. Done?
1 minute. No, no, sir.
Okay.
Sir, should we write this?
Yeah, you guys have to write the definition of mixture.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay. Then after having written it, the definition, write down the examples. So common examples are as follows. Sugar
and water.
and water. Then you have air, that is also a mixture. Milk is also a mixture. Pond water is a mixture. Seawater is also a mixture. Right? Oil and water is a mixture. Getting it? These are some of the common mixtures. Getting it? So write down the examples as well.
Done, sir.
Done? Good. Yes,
Not
Salima, you
done,
also
sir.
done? Done?
No. No.
Not yet. Okay, write it quickly. One important thing to be noted down here is that they are not combined chemically. Chemically
Yeah.
combined means that, say for example,
They've like completely mixed with each other that they cannot be picked out again.
exactly, that can't be manually separated. That
Sir,
cannot
like
be
for
manually
So
separated.
it takes like a special process or like
Hmm.
a whole process to get them removed.
Sir, like
Exactly.
for example, if we take a fire and we put the wood inside the fire, it becomes ash. We cannot return it back.
Okay. So that's a different thing. That's a reversible change. That's a chemical change. Okay, now. So that's a different thing. Basically, not like for example, you have water. So how can we separate the water? Like say water is a pure substance now. So water is a pure substance, for example. Right now we are not talking about mixture, just giving you one example here. So water is a pure substance. So but water, we know it is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So how do we separate the water? Getting it?
Sir, what is the word after milk?
After milk, it's pond water, then sea water, and then oil and water. So like for example, you have a pure substance, this water. Now here hydrogen and oxygen, they are chemically combined, and via any physical method they cannot be separated. Right now, so hydrogen and oxygen via any chemical method they cannot be separated. So thereby electrolysis of water has to be done. Hmm? Electrolysis
Yes.
of water is done in order to separate oxygen and hydrogen. Got this, guys? So it's the process where using electricity we can split hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, got this, both of you? Using electricity we can separate hydrogen and oxygen from water. Getting
Sir,
it?
how?
A process is done, like the process really is not important how it is done as of this standard. Just know that using electricity we can separate hydrogen and oxygen from the water. Electricity will be passed into the water, and bubbles will start to come from the water. Bubbles of hydrogen and oxygen will start to come from the water, and we can separate the bubbles of hydrogen and oxygen in that manner.
Sir, like evaporation for the salt water and sugar water.
Yeah, that is also there. Just in the similar manner you can understand that. Okay, no?
Yeah.
So generally mixtures are not chemically combined together. Note that down. Generally mixtures are not chemically combined together. So hope that much is clear. Then we have got two types
Sir,
of
I'm done.
mixture. Done. We have got two types of mixtures are there. One that is homogeneous and one that is heterogeneous. We are going to talk about that one also, but before that, we are going to first of all learn about separation. Like what is separation, and why do we need to separate substances? What is the need of that? Okay, no. I'll just continue from here. Okay, in the sequence it would be continue from here. Okay, let us continue from here only. So you guys give some examples of homogeneous mixture. Like homogeneous mixture, like for example, milk. Are you able to identify the different particles of the milk, different components of the milk very clearly? For example, when you have mixed sugar into water, can you identify which part is sugar, which part is purely water? Or when you have alloys of copper and zinc. For example, when you have brass is an alloy. So what I'm saying that mixtures of two types. One in which you can identify the components. One in
Sir,
which you can identify the components of the mixture. Another one in which you cannot identify. Like for example, fruit salad. So you can identify which one is cucumber, which one
yeah, you
is
can.
carrot,
Yeah.
which one is onion. Huh? Getting it, guys?
But
But
in like
same.
salt, but like the example salt and water, and all, you cannot recognize where the salt is, where the water is. It's all gonna be mixed together.
Exactly. It's all going to be mixed together and will have a uniform composition. And it will appear like a single substance, but it is actually not a single substance. Like salt and water appears as a single substance. Salt and water, or sugar and water, appears as a single substance. But is it actually a single substance?
Yeah.
No. So homogeneous mixture, in a mixture, the components of the homogeneous mixture are evenly spread. Right now, they are not concentrated at one place; they are evenly spread. Okay. Some examples are as follows: salt in water, then you have alloys, and then you have pure air in which no dust particles are found. Right now, it would be air, it would be salt solution, it could be sugar dissolved
Water.
in water, like that. That is the thing. Okay. Then there's one more question, like will milk be a homogeneous mixture? Think about it. Hmm? Is milk a
Milk.
homogeneous
Yeah.
mixture?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
How is it no?
Sir,
Yes.
because milk is not a homogeneous mixture, because in that there are many mixtures, right? Like fat and all. So it is not
Hmm.
evenly distributed.
See, talking about milk, actually, milk is considered, technically, it is considered a heterogeneous mixture because the different components found in the milk, it is actually not evenly distributed. Like the
Yeah.
fat particles of the milk, uh, it floats on the top of the milk, right? Now, it floats on the
Yes.
top of the milk, right? Now, so thereby the component is not evenly distributed. Thereby, milk will be counted as example of a heterogeneous mixture. Got this now?
Yes.
So write down what I'm telling you to write. So first of all, you'd be writing there are two types of mixture. In a homogeneous mixture, you'll write in this mixture, instead of A, write this. Okay. So in this mixture, the components are evenly distributed. Components are evenly distributed, and write some examples are as well. Or just write down one more important line here. Okay. Na? First of all, write this much. There's one more important line we should be required to write here. In this mixture, the components are evenly distributed. And after this, now you'll write down this evenly distributed, and write a comma, put a comma and write and appear as a single substance. You guys can see now what I'm writing here. Appear as a single
Yes, sir.
substance.
Yeah. Sir, can I go to the washroom?
Yeah, sure. Then give the examples as follows: salt in water, alloys, and pure. In a moment, we are going to learn about alloys. So we have examples. We have examples
So,
of
sir,
different
instead of the some
substances like
examples of
brass.
homogeneous mixture, we have to write and appear as a single substance.
You have to, yeah, no, you are going to write the examples also, but after evenly distributed, you're going to write and appear as single substance. Okay, now
Yeah.
in short also you can write, no need to write this whole statement like some examples of homogeneous mixture. Just write E dot G, that means for example, and then continue from here like salt in water, alloys like that, and pure air. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let us learn about the alloys also. Okay. So the question is, what is alloys? So alloys are the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals and a non-metal that would be chemically combined together. For example, you would have used utensils of brass, about
Yeah.
brass, right? So brass is neither, it's not made up of just one type of metal. It's not just made up of one type of substance. Brass is a mixture. But does it look like a mixture?
No.
No, sir.
I wish I had one image of it in the PPT. Just 1 minute. Let me take a quick image. So brass does not. Sorry about that. Brass does not look like it is made up of two different substances right now. Like for example, as you can see in this image, see this is brass. This trumpet, it's made up of brass. The
Yes.
temple bells, they are also made up of using this brass right now. Or like this tap water, that is also made up of brass, for example. But what I want to say you here is that it's not a pure substance. It is actually a mixture. The
Yeah, it's like
reason
a mixture of copper, metal.
hmm, it's copper and zinc. Okay, no? So this is an example of alloy, and the name is brass. This is brass.
Yes.
The reason why it is a mixture because it is made up of two different metals, namely copper and
steel.
zinc. Zinc.
Oh, zinc.
Okay, no? Copper and zinc. Also, why it is being called as homogeneous? Because neither can you find which part of it is copper, neither you can tell which part is zinc.
It all looks like one.
Mhm.
It looks like
Same
one material is used.
appears as a single substance right now.
Yeah.
After this, we are going to learn about heterogeneous mixtures. Like these mixtures do not have evenly distributed components. Okay. And furthermore, you're going to write and appear as different substances, meaning that they do not appear as single substance. You can identify the components of a heterogeneous mixture. You can identify in a fruit salad, like which one is a apple, which one is a um, papaya, or like that. Getting it?
Yeah.
Now you can identify the components. Do let me know once you guys are done writing it. By the way, what do you guys understand by impurities? What does
Impurities
impurities
are
mean?
like the. They're like the. They're like the dirt that are in water. Like
Hmm.
if you like see there's like some dirt in the water, then you call it as an impurity.
For example, impure
Hmm.
water.
Impure water, right? So impurities would be basically the unwanted particles that would be present in a substance that will make
Yeah.
it impure for consumption, for use. Like as you guys said, the presence of dirt particles in the water will make it impure. Getting it? A presence of so many harmful bacteria in the water will make it impure. Got this now? Like
Yes.
that. Do let me know once you guys are done writing it. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm naming some substances. You have to tell me whether it's a example of homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about coffee? Coffee, is it a homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture?
Sir, it is
Homogeneous.
homogeneous.
Homogeneous. Good. What about chocolates?
Homogeneous.
Sir, it is homogeneous.
Homogeneous. Okay. Okay. What about orange juice?
Heterogeneous.
Orange
Homogeneous.
or orange juice. Okay. No? That will be homogeneous. Okay. For example, you have a tomato soup. That would be
Homogeneous.
Homogeneous.
good. Okay. For example, you have a fruit salad, or you have milk and
Heterogeneous.
cereals.
Sir, heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous, right? So hope you guys have understood that.
Sir, can you wait a bit?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Furthermore, like why normally we cannot separate the components of a pure substance via physical methods? Like for example, in a mixture, via very simple methods, you can separate the components of a mixture for some of the mixtures right now. Not all of them, but for most of them. But in a pure substance, why is it difficult to separate the components of a pure substance, like water, for example?
Because because it's a pure substance. It's made up of one substance. Like it's like
See,
one it's made up of one type of molecules.
okay, see, more specifically, the main reason is that in a mixture, the components of a mixture normally are they combined together in a fixed ratio, in a fixed number. Like in a fruit salad, you can have as many papayas, or you can have as many apples as you wish. There's no need to keep the number of one particular component very precise, right now.
Yeah.
So but in the case of, like, for water, which is a pure substance, the amount of hydrogen and oxygen that is required to prepare water, it is in fixed quantity. Getting it now?
Yeah.
So in a pure substance, the components of the pure substance are combined in a fixed ratio, in a fixed quantity. But in the case of a mixture, the components are not in a fixed quantity. Like you can prepare a solution of salt and water. You can either add 1 tablespoon of salt, or you can either add 5 tablespoons of salt. That will give you, that will still give you a mixture. Getting this, guys? I'm getting this now. Halima, Hana. Okay, that is the reason it is
Yes, sir.
easier to separate a components of a homogeneous mixture, but that is difficult in the case of a pure substance. All of you done writing the definitions and
Yeah.
examples?
No, sir.
Okay, okay,
Sir, I'm in the heterogeneous exam.
okay. Write down the examples also. Some examples of fruit salad. Okay, and you can write down the example of a polluted air also. That too is a heterogeneous mixture. Also write down the example of milk. Okay, no? Milk also.
Done.
Done.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so we have just 1 or 2 minutes
I'm not
left.
done.
So
I'm in the example for, yeah. Can
okay.
you give me 1 minute?
Yeah, sure.
You didn't clean it.
So moments ago we were learning about separation. As I was only telling you about the separation, what the need is, why do we need to separate different things, right? Okay. Furthermore, while we'll be talking about separation of substance, there are certain principles of separation. Like for example, in order to separate two different things, first you need to first you should be aware about the properties of the two different substances of a mixture. Like for example, you have a mixture of oil and water. So you should be aware of the densities of oil and water, what are their properties, how we have to separate them. Getting it?
Yeah.
So like for example, you cannot separate oil and water via hand picking, obviously. Getting it?
Yeah.
So you need to identify the different properties. Also, for example, you have two different things. For example, like in the flour, many times we need to filter it via a sieve. It has to be filtered before making a dough. It has to be filtered using a sieve. Huh?
Done, sir.
Getting it? Yeah. So
But not wheat
this,
flour.
yeah. But say for example, the size of the holes of the sieve, you have to
Will
take
be
the
very
very.
small.
But what if you were to take the it very big? So thereby it would be of no use, right? Now,
Yeah.
so here you know like what size of the sieve I have to take so that I would be able to separate the flour and the impurities will be left into it. So
Yeah.
you know about the size of the impurity, it would be bigger than the size of the flour,
Size of the sieve. Yeah.
right? Now the impurities would be bigger than the flour, so it will be left. So those are the things you'd be learning there in the separation of substances.
Sir, for example, floor and the rock. The floor, the floor
Oh,
will go down and the rock will mix. Same.
yeah, or like tiny rock particles that would
Yeah.
be left in it. Good. So that's it for today. We'll be meeting in next class then. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Ibrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yes, walaikum assalam. Yes, Ibrahim. You there in the class?